Hi, I'm Kelsey Mays for Cars.com, and we're at the 2013 LA Auto Show. I'm 9 feet tall, and this is a Porsche Cayenne. Actually, no. This is Porsche's new, smaller SUV, the Macan. It slots below the Cayenne in terms of size, and it goes up against SUVs like the BMW X3, the Mercedes GLK class, the Land Rover, Range Rover Evoque. But with a standard 340 horsepower turbocharged V6, the Macan could be the real athlete of the bunch, and that's what Porsche hopes. Let's take a closer look. No one's going to question that the Macan is a Porsche. Very 911 inspired tail here, Porsche says. The rear fenders here, the roofline as it plunges, similar to the way it goes on Porsche's iconic sports car. You get up front here, the headlights were inspired by the forthcoming Porsche 918, the automaker says. Wheels, 19-inch standard, all the way up to 21 inches available. Differences between the Macan S and the Macan Turbo, which has a 400 horsepower version of the Turbo V6, are kind of subtle, hard to get at first. You got to look closely. Things like the lower body panels here, black on the Macan S, body colored on the Macan Turbo. You get around to the tailpipes, they're round on the Macan S. On the Macan Turbo, they're more squared shaped. Believe it or not, the Macan has some off-roading chops too. All-wheel drive is standard. Porsche says there's an off-road mode for the drivetrain, and there's even an available air suspension that can raise up the vehicle a little bit. The cockpit wraps around you like you would expect for a Porsche. Steering wheel borrowed from the 918, the automaker says. A lot of furniture kind of pinning you in. If you're looking for room, the Macan doesn't really have a lot of it. Reasonably good headroom, but again, not a lot of areas here to stretch out your knees. Lots of premium features despite this being a small SUV though. Things like a power tilt telescope steering wheel, heated and cooled seats, a panoramic moonroof in this car here at the auto show. Materials quality appears to be reasonably good. Soft stuff where it needs to be, tight kind of stitching all atop the upper instrument panel and the upper doors here. Electronics include a 4.8-inch screen here next to Porsche's traditional gauges here on the car at the auto show. There's a 7-inch screen here that controls some of the action for your multimedia system. Let's take a look at the back seat. A lot of features available back here, things like heated rear seats, temperature control for the rear, even manual sunshades. You pull up along the windows here. Space on the tight side. The seat does have a nice high seating position relative to the floor of the vehicle. Legroom, not a ton here, especially if you're going to be taller for adults. Headroom, decent, despite the fact that there's a panoramic moonroof in this car, which typically cuts an inch or two of headroom for the rear and the front seats. The tight cabin carries over to cargo space where there's only about 18 cubic feet behind the rear seats, about 53 cubic feet of maximum space when the seats are folded. We'll have to see if drivability makes you just not care about any of that, closer to when the Macan goes on sale in spring 2014.